Hi everyone, this is Tracy, and I want to invite you. Hello everyone, Tracy here again, and I want to take this time to invite you to the virtual scavenger hunt that Tracy Media is sponsoring. The virtual scavenger hunt will be held September the 3rd, 2022, and the cost is $15. And where does that $15 go, you ask? Well, it goes to getting me much needed equipment. I am trying to buy a second laptop so that I can start sharing videos on my live stream. And of course, laptops are super expensive. I wish I had enough money saved to just buy it, but I need your help. Our goal is to raise about $295 with me putting the rest in so I can buy the laptop that I want, which I'm pricing around $400, and I'm hoping that's enough. But anyway, the virtual scavenger hunt is going to be so much fun. The way it basically works is I'll have a list of a few items that I want you to go around in the house to find. It'll be right there in the comfort of your own home. And we'll have a prize, and that will be if you win the virtual scavenger hunt, Tracy Media will send you a $25 gift card, a Visa gift card, so that you can buy whatever you want. And we'll have some other fun things that we'll do while we're at the virtual scavenger hunt. And remember, it's September the 3rd, 2022. It starts at 6 p.m. And the link is in the description section. And I'll be playing this every time I have a video because my goal is to have at least 20 people at the scavenger hunt. I really need your support, and I appreciate those who are supporting me already. I appreciate you. You don't know how much happiness it brings me to know that I have people who literally have my back. And so I appreciate all of your support. But I want to invite those who haven't financially support my channel to do so. And like I said, that event will be having the virtual scavenger hunt. It's going to be fantastic. We hope to see you there. And like I said, you'll be seeing this commercial quite a bit, so you might as well get used to it. The link to the scavenger hunt is in the description section. We'll see you later and have a fantastic day. Bye.
Blended decade for me because on one hand you had like your P-Funk era, but on the other hand you had like yeah, but on the other hand you had like straight up disco music, roller skate music type stuff going on. Well, we're not really feeling that. So remember, my bubble small because I'm only talking black music. But there was okay, so best decade from the
Earth,
70s.
Wind, and Fire was the 70s also.
What?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, but when I think of Earth, Wind, and Fire, right, to me, they're almost like a legacy 60s because they had like that music that kind of flows through, because they have that Marvin Gaye kind of, I don't know, like that's my feeling of them. Like they're the civil rights era, last part of the 60s, and then flowing forward. I could be completely off in my years. It's just how I feel. So that's how I said there. So worst era for music, 2000s, and best 90s. If we're only going from the 70s forward.
We're only going 70s forward.
Did I do that right?
Yep, you did it right. You did it right. Marlon, you're up next.
Go ahead. Big up Dolly Parton, Marlon. Go ahead and do it for me.
I brought up all the music because I had to make sure that I'm putting the decades correctly.
Oh, he cheated.
No, I just had to make sure that I know who was who and in what year. So
Prepared.
I'm looking at the 70s, and it really is not that bad, but you got to remember I was born in the 70s. So, and the stuff that I will remember from the 70s blended over into the 80s, and I just happened to overhear it or something like that. So, it's not something I literally grew up with. So, you have the BGs, Village People, Jackson 5, Marvin Gaye, Queens. I mean, Chic. I mean, you had some
Solid people. It was some
solid
solid
people in the
people
70s.
up in the 70s.
Mhm.
The 80s I remember so much, and it may be a very good contender to be number one because the 80s was the introduction of legends. Because it was the introduction of Lionel Richie, it was the introduction of the Michael Jackson that we know now,
Lionel
not
Richie
little
is
Michael.
Commodores, my
But
brother.
Yeah, you not talking about Lionel
no,
Richie
no, no, don't
Commodores
listen to
or
what I'm
Lionel
saying.
Richie
I
the
didn't say
solo artist?
Commodores. I said Lionel Richie.
Oh, the
I
solo
said the
artist.
man
Okay.
that literally had the album that everybody talks about. It's the same thing as going. I said Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson been around since. No, we're talking about Beat It, Billie Jean, moonwalking Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. We're talking about somebody totally different. Cyndi
Yeah,
Lauper, Madonna.
Prince.
I mean, the '80s
Prince.
Prince.
was Salt and Pepper, the Human League,
That's
Wham.
Peppa.
Who?
Peppa, not Pepper. Peppa.
Yeah,
Peppa.
them. Whitney Houston.
Say it
So
right.
the '80s was giving you some really strong legends in the '80s.
Mhm.
However, now we're gonna get to the '90s. More legends. Now, not legends that last long, because we did have the Spice, and that's the one thing I can say about the '90s
Spice
that was
Girl.
funny.
Oh,
The funny thing about the '90s was it gave us people that should have been legends and just died off so quickly. We like, oh yeah, I remember them. So Lauren Hill, we legend. TLC, legend. Shania O'Connor.
R. Kelly before we found out he was a criminal.
You should have did what you did on Saturday Night Live today, but whatever. That was a chance you took. Destiny's Child, a legend who
wait a minute,
gave
but
birth
Tony,
stop.
to a
Tony,
legend.
Tony.
Say what?
In Vogue.
Tony.
These child would have been more the 2000s.
Boys to
Who?
Men. Cher came back. Um, did I say TLC? Aaliyah.
Mr.
I
Big
mean,
came back.
Missy Elliott, Biggie, Tupac. It's a really good contender. Then we got to the 2000s. Yeah, whatever. So we got to the 2000s. I mean, we had okay. I'll be real. Okay, we had Outkast, Britney Spears, Snoop
Outcast is the
Dogg.
90s.
Yeah, I know. By that time,
Generous.
Beyonce was up there. Usher was up
That shit was the
there.
90s.
Missy Elliott, no. Black Eyed Peas, no.
Still the
Outkast.
90s.
Mhm.
Okay,
You gotta
so
go with
here,
Justin Bieber.
so here we go. Last or first. Last is the '70s, not because it was bad music, it's because quite honestly, I don't remember '70s music unless I heard it in the '80s and '90s. So I can't sit there and go, oh, I remember that. Now, granted, would I have loved to grew up like a teenager or something in the '70s? Yeah, I've always said that a long time ago. Yeah, because they looked like they knew how to have fun in the '70s. I ain't saying I had a bad childhood with the rest of the time, but that '70s, the stories I've been told was like, woo, that red
Childhood in
light.
the 70s looks better than childhood in the 90s, which is what I had.
Yeah,
So,
because it probably was.
yeah.
So last is the '70s. Third place, the 2000s.
So you saying the 2000s is better than the 70s?
Yeah,
Hello, this is Tracy, and I want to let you know that the video that you just watched is just a snippet. And to see the whole wonderful episode, you need to be a Patreon. The link to be a Patreon is in the description section. Please check it out and please support. We need as much support as possible. Remember, you can always subscribe to our page and be notified when we get new videos. But if you want to see the whole video in its entirety, unedited, just off the cuff, no filters, no anything, be a Patreon. You can start as low as just $1 per month or $5 per month. We'll start to have polls. Sometimes I'll drop into the Patreon once we get a couple more members. But again, I just want to encourage you to support us on the Patreon. The link is in the description and have a fantastic day. Bye bye.